Hey y'all, and welcome back to a new devotion, Turning Points with God by David Jeremiah. Today's title is Known But to God. It is found on page 269. Our scripture text comes from the book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 22, and I'll probably read 23 as well because they kind of go together. So Galatians 5, 22 through 23, and it says, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, longsuffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law." At Arlington National Cemetery, there is a memorial tomb that contains the remains of unknown soldiers from various wars, primarily World Wars I and II, called the Tomb of the Unknowns. The inscription on the tomb reads, "Here rests in honor, glory, an American soldier known but to God." If you are ever in doubt about what makes a person great, do not look to Hollywood elite or the upper crust of society. Greatness is not found in possessions, power, or prestige. Rather, it is found in goodness, humility, service, and character, all of which can be found in the majority of military men and women. They don't sign up to defend their country with the goal of being honored and glorified. They simply believe they are called to carry out this awesome responsibility. What are you pursuing in life? More things and more status? Or do you desire to carry out God's will and see Him glorified? If you truly wish to be great, follow the example of selfless, humble American soldiers and be a devoted Christian known but to God. The supreme test of goodness is not in the greater, but in the smaller incidents of our character and practice. That is a quote by F.B. MEYER. Oh, I love this, known but to God. You know, God sees every individual on this planet. He made us, He created us, and He knows the very intent of our heart. And I don't know about you, but there have been times I have passed people on the street or in the grocery store or wherever, and you just get that sense of just meekness and humility, and I get flooded with, God truly loves that person. Not saying that He don't love everyone, not saying that at all, but just at different times I've had that experience. And in today's society where it's all about more, gimme, this is such a fresh reminder that all God seeks is our time and our humility, our meekness, our goodness. You know, it's so easy to get caught up and wrapped up in life. Been there, done that. Still catch myself doing that from time to time, if I'm honest. But at the end of the day, none of the stuff and things or your social status is going to be what gets you into heaven. It is going to be your relationship with God, how you've lived your life according to God, how He sees you, not how your neighbor or the world sees you, but how does God see you? Does He see you as meek and humble and full of goodness? Or does He see you full of self and greed and lust, you know? And that's something that I try to keep in perspective in just my everyday life. And I think that in order to keep all of that in perspective, well, I know in order for me to keep all of that in perspective and to stay where I need to be grounded in God, I have to keep self under subjection. I have to stay prayed up. I have to get in that place of prayer with God. And sometimes I do that because that's just what I know to do. And then sometimes He brings me to that point. Sometimes He lets things happen and situations happen and things trigger in my mind that it's like, oh, and He will prompt me to get to that place. And then there's just sometimes I just know I just know me, and I just know, number one, there's just some things I know I cannot partake in. There's some things I cannot entertain. And if I find myself wanting to go that direction, entertain it, partake of it, I know, okay, you got to get to praying, girl. You got to get self back under subjection. Not that I've done anything wrong, but it's like that, him prompting me, that spirit that lives inside of me prompting me, no, you're not thinking rationally. You got to get back under control. You got to get flesh back under control, because there's some enticing things out there. There's some enticing places. There's some things that I love that I can no longer partake in. And so it requires being held under subjection. And some of those things and the things I go through are known only to God. You know, it's not something I even advertise or talk about, because I don't want to put it out there in the air. But it's known to God, you know, known but to God. And I'm sure I'm not the only one, and I'm sure that there are things that you can relate to when I'm talking about this. But he's so good to us, y'all. He's so good to us that he understands us when we come to him, and I talk to him and tell him what I'm feeling. Because what's the point of lying to God? He knows anyway. You're just lying to yourself if you think you can lie to God. He already knows how you feel, and so why not tap into that strength that he can give us? Why not tap into that help that's there? He's ready, willing, and more than able. So I try to use that as much as I can, and let him help me. I was going through some things. I'm still going through some things. I talked about in a previous video about I was praying about some things. Well, it's come to fruition, and I've made a decision, and I'm having to be obedient. And even in the obedience, to sit here and tell you that I feel fabulous. There's some anxiousness. There's some nervousness. There's some, what am I doing? Oh my goodness. You know, although I feel peace about it, but and I'm talking about, I am giving up my booth. I think that's time for a next chapter in my life, as something that I have been dealing with, praying about for a while now. It's not an overnight decision. I have just been thinking about it. I've been talking to my husband about it, been talking to my family about it, been praying about it, talking to God about it. And I do believe that the Lord put me there for a time, but it's just like anything else. It's a season in my life, and now that season is coming to an end, and I'm going to start a new chapter. But that does not mean that I'm not a little nervous about it. That does not mean that I don't have some hesitations, but I know that God will guide me through it. And I know this is kind of like, this devotion is kind of all over the place, but I think everything I'm discussing can be all captivated under this same title, Known But to God. And I share this with you because I'm sure there's things that you're dealing with, that you are struggling with, that you know it's the will of God, but that does not alleviate every bit of the flesh, anxiousness, hesitation, questioning. And there are even probably people in your life that may be like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And it doesn't make sense to anybody but you know. And that's kind of where I'm at. Like I said, this was not an overnight, this was not a decision I made very lightly. This was something I've prayed about. This is something I have talked about with my family. This is something I have struggled with for several months, going back probably to December. It's something that I had been talking to James about and just really praying about it, and I've been talking to some friends about it. So it's not an overnight decision, it's been in the back of my mind for a while, and I just have to trust God and believe that this chapter's ending and we're just going to start a new chapter. And I trust him. I trust him to get me through this. I trust him to direct me. I trust him with everything. I mean, I trust him with my life. Why wouldn't I trust him with something like this? And I'd always said that I would not continue to do it if it began to cost me money, because it doesn't make me. It was a hobby that paid for itself, you know. We didn't depend on it for income to pay our bills or anything like that. So it was a hobby that paid for itself, and I always made the statement that I would do it as long as it was continue to pay for itself and didn't cost me. And so here we are. And all of these feelings and emotions that I've had have been known but to God. I haven't discussed it with any of my channels. I just told y'all that I was praying about something, that I was really struggling with something, and when the time came that I would testify, and it kind of come to a head as far as like, okay, I've set a timeline of when this will happen. Now, I've set that timeline. God may change it. I don't know. But another thing that I wanted to discuss with y'all in all of this is when you are being obedient to God, when you know you are being obedient to God, sometimes you will look foolish to other people. Sometimes they will not understand because they are not in it with you and God. Because our relationship, we talk about our relationship with God is so personal, so one-on-one. And they will not understand. And they may even come at you with statements that they mean no harm, okay? Some may mean harm. Some may pick on you and be bullying you. Some may just make statements that they don't even realize what they're saying, you know, and how it will hit you and affect you. But when you know something, you just got to hold strong to it. Hold on to it when you know it. And the Lord revealed to me, he said, think about Noah. Noah was building an ark at a time they didn't even know what rain was. They just looked at this old man and thought he had he was off his rocker. Building a boat for a flood? What is that? You know? And he got picked on, he got bullied, he got made fun of, he got ridiculed, and he just kept doing what he knew to do. And we know how the story ends. In the end, him and his family was saved. And, you know, he did the right thing. He followed the will of God. He followed God's direction. He followed the path God had put out in front of him, even when his own family didn't understand him. Even when his own family did not understand what he was doing and why he was doing this. So if you're in a situation that you know you're in the will of God, you know what God has showed you, you know what you're supposed to do, but it makes absolutely no sense to anyone else, do not be discouraged. Go with what you know. Trust God, and it's all going to work out. It's all going to work out for your favor, for your benefit. You're going to come out on top, and maybe they will get to see it. Maybe they won't, but you will know that you did the right thing. And that's kind of where I am with this. I have people that don't understand. I have some people that said they seen it coming. I had some people that could see things before I could see things. And then I have some people that are just, what, you know? But in the grand scheme of things, I trust God. I trust God with everything. And I know he's going to see me through and take care. And I share all of this as to encourage you, because I know I'm not the only one dealing with things. I'm not so full of self and so self-absorbed to think that I'm the only one that goes through things. No. This is just one of the things I'm dealing with. There are many, many more. And I'm not the only one. This is real life, and I don't try to come across as everything is perfect over here. In fact, sometimes I'm too candid about things and too open about things, but I do that to just show you, this is real life. This is real life, and I share real life moments on my other channel, and some people understand it and appreciate it, and some people tell me it's just me complaining when it's not. It's just me showing you that everybody is dealing with something. Everybody is going through something. No one has it perfect. I don't care what their Instagram catalog looks like. I don't care what their videos portray. Everybody, you hear me? Everybody, from the richest to the poorest, everybody is going through something and dealing with something. Do not let the enemy trick you into thinking that you're the only one that's having a tough time. You're the only one having to go through things, because he likes to do that. He likes to make us feel sorry for ourselves and get into our own heads. And I find when I do that, then I can't hear God as clearly. So just know, everything that you're dealing with, everything you're going through, God is very much aware. God knows. And he will help you. He will guide you. He will direct you. And you're not the only one struggling. You're not the only one going through things. The difference between you and somebody else, it may be, how are you going to handle it? Are you going to try to handle it? Or are you going to give it to God and let him help you handle it? Let him take care of it. Give him the reins. And hopefully this has helped you and encouraged you. It's really helped me to kind of verbalize it, to verbal process it, and to put it out there. Because I'm going to tell you, life gets heavy and life gets hard. And when you're making some changes in your life, any kind of change for me is kind of hard. I like routine. I like knowing what I'm going to do. I like having a plan. And sometimes it doesn't work out that way. Sometimes God just comes in there, and you walk up to kids sometimes and you just dishevel their hair, like talking to them. Well, sometimes that's what God does to me in my life. He'll just come up and just start talking to me and just dishevel everything. And I'm like, oh no. But I've learned he does that to redirect me and get me back focused on him, because it is a mess. What am I going to do? Oh, you're going to pray. You're going to talk to God. You're going to seek his help. And it kind of redirects me. And hopefully this has helped you. I know this has helped me kind of getting out there. And I appreciate all of your prayers. I pray for y'all all the time. And I know it is because we are praying for each other that we're going to get through whatever. To me, I've got several different things going on. Some serious, some, this big whoop. You know what I'm saying? Big whoop. But I have some other things I'm dealing with, like my father's health. He's in a bad shape. He's in a bad way. And the stresses of that, if I allow the stresses to take over me, then I'm no good. But I have to just continually pray and give it to God and get him to give me the strength I need to get through it. That's just a couple things. You know what I mean? Life is full of ups and downs, but we've got this. We've got this. And we have this beautiful community God has brought together. And if you're here for a reason, okay? You're not here by accident. That's the beauty of it. You're here for a reason. Because when I started this channel reluctantly, this is another one of those things, known but to God. I didn't want to do this, but God was like, no, you're going to do this. My only prayer, and I used the word condition, but that's really not, I would have done it anyway, but I was like, let whoever needs it find it. I don't care about numbers. I don't care about subscription count. I don't care about views, the view count. I don't care about any of that. I want whoever it is designed for to find it when they need it. And I can't tell you how many times I get that in the comments. You just popped up one day and it was exactly what I needed. That wasn't me, my friend. That was all him. That was just all him. So if you're here by design. You're here because of him. And if he chooses to use me in my life as a testimony, who am I to tell God no? Here I am, Lord. Here I am. So if you're here for a reason, and I'm definitely praying for y'all. I feel y'all's prayers for me. Thank you so much for always showing up, encouraging me, encouraging one another in the comments. I see where y'all encourage each other, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's going to bring me to tears because it's just a beautiful, sweet community. And I think in the day and time we live in, it's kind of shocking. And it shouldn't be, but it is. So thank you for being here. I love each and every one of you. I know this kind of, was it on topic? I don't know, but this is just the direction I felt led to go in. So do with that what you will. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.